Welcome to the stitch guide. This week we are looking at the Thistle stitch. This is a lovely, it's got like a lacy look to it, but there's no chain work. It's all US doubles, UK trebles. So it's really nice. I think this would make a nice fabric for a sofa throw. So in this sample I've used DK acrylic yarn with a 4mm hook. For the tutorial I'm going to use an Aran weight yarn with a 5.5mm hook. So let's get started. So we're going to begin with a slip knot. And then chain 2. So we're going to be working in a multiple of 7 plus 1, and then we're going to make 3 chains at the end. We're going to start with a US single, UK double foundation chain. So we're going to make 22 stitches. Yeah, so we're going to go into the first chain we made and pull the yarn through. We're going to then yarn over and pull through 1 loop. That's the chain that we're going to go into to make the second stitch. Yeah, we're going to then yarn over and pull through both loops. So that's our first stitch. We then need to turn the work so that you can see that chain we've just made. We're going to go into there. Yeah, pull the yarn through. Yarn over, pull through the loop. That's the third chain we're making. So we're going to make our next stitch in there. We yarn over and pull through both loops. So that's 2 stitches. We're then going to go under again into the chain. I just pull that back, you can see. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop. Yarn over, pull through both loops. Yeah, and we're going to go along for 22 stitches. Yeah, I'll just let you watch for a while, moment, if you're unsure what's going on. If you look, we're making our chain along, yeah, in the direction that we would normally work in. It feels like we're going up. Make sure you've got lots of slack on your yarn. You don't want it to pull. Oops. So go ahead and continue making your chain. You can pause the video or rewatch as many times as you need. And then I'm just gonna make my last 2 stitches now. Whoops. So that's 21. And 22. So these are a lot easier to count, I think, than normal chains. Yeah, so you should have a nice long row of them. So we can just count the tops. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So you've got your multiple of 7 plus 1, and then we're going to chain 3. and we turn our work, and then there are all the backs like single crochets or UK double crochets ready to work in. So let's start round row one, sorry. So in that first stitch we're going to make a US double, UK treble, and all the stitches for this pattern are US doubles, UK trebles. Yeah, so that's one stitch in there, and then we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and we're going to make 5 stitches into that one stitch. Yeah, after your 5 stitches we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, working into the third stitch we're going to make a US double, UK treble, and then a second one into the next stitch. So these 2 stitches are next to each other, they're not in the same stitch. Yeah, we then skip 2, 1, 2, and we make 5 stitches into there. So after 5 stitches, yeah, we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and we're going to make 2 stitches again next to each other, not in the same stitch. So we make the first one, and then into the next stitch we make the second one. Remember, all the stitches we make now are US doubles, UK trebles. So we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and we're going to make 5 stitches in the third stitch. After 5 stitches, you're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and we're going to make 2 stitches again next to each other. So we go into the first one, and then in the last stitch, that should be, we should be at the end now, to make 1 stitch. And that's the end of the first row. Yeah, so we're going to chain 3, and we're going to turn the work. Let me just get some slack. So we're going to be working in between stitches. We don't work into the tops of any stitches. All of the work is in between stitches. So the first, we're going to go in between those last 2 stitches we made on the last round, and we're going to make 2 stitches. Into that same space, yeah. We're then going to hop across, and we're going to go in between stitches number 2 and 3. Yeah, we're going to make 1 stitch. We're then going to go in between stitches 3 and 4 of those 5 stitches, yeah. We're going to hop across, and in between the 2 stitches next to each other, we're going to make 5 stitches. So 5 stitches in between those 2 stitches. We're then going to hop across, and we're going to do the same as we did with the last group of 5 stitches. We're going to go in between numbers 2 and 3. And then we're going to go in between numbers 2 and 4. We then hop across, and in between the 2 stitches next to each other, we make 5 stitches. After 5 stitches, we work into this group of 5, going in between numbers 1 and 3, and then in between 3 and 4. So we should now be at the end of the row. We're going to make 2 stitches in between the chain space and that last stitch. And then you can either make the 3rd stitch into that chain space, or you can make the 3rd stitch into the chain. I'm just going to go into the chain space. And then we chain 3. Yeah, turn your work. So that's the first row of our repeat. Yeah. And then the second row of the repeat, we are going to make 1 stitch in between the 1st and 2nd stitch. Yeah. We're then going to hop across in between the 2 stitches next to each other, and we're going to make 5 stitches. We just get some slack. So 1, 2, 3. After your 5 stitches, we go across to this group of 5. We go in between stitches 2 and 3. And then in between stitches 3 and 4. Now hop across, and we make 5 stitches in between the 2 stitches next to each other. After your 5 stitches, into the group of 5, we work in between stitches 2 and 3, and then in between stitches 3 and 4. Hop across, in between the 2 stitches, we're going to make 5 stitches. After your 5 stitches, we're going to make 2 stitches in between that chain space and the stitch at the end. So you can do both stitches into the chain space, or you can do that last one into the chain, and then you would chain 3, turn your work and repeat this line again, the line underneath. So you're just repeating rows 2 and 3. If we say this is the first row, the foundation chain doesn't count as a row of stitches. So you're repeating rows 2 and 3. Yeah, and just keep making the same. And doesn't that come up lovely in the Aran weight? That would make a really nice chunky throw for the sofa. And it has come up a little bit bigger than the DK. Yeah. So I'll see you in the next video.